right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called the Turbocharged Prelude for Too Fast, Too Furious. Giving this 1 out of 5 stars. I hated this flick. I think I'm going to hate the sequel. This is the prequel to the sequel. The Turbocharged Prelude for Too Fast, Too Furious, also known simply as Turbocharged Prelude, is a 2003 U.S. short film directed by Philip G. Atwell and written by Keith Donnelly. It is the first short film in the Fast and Furious franchise and a follow-up to the Fast and Furious 2001 and a prequel to Too Fast, Too Furious 2003 with the very hot Eva Mendes and Devon, what's her name? Eva Mendes and Devon Aoki, who's in Sin City. Eva Mendes was in Children of the Corn 5, the great Children of the Corn 5, Killing Fields with that transsexual, what's his name? Forgot it. I love that flick. Eva Mendes is great in that. I'm hoping Too Fast, Too Furious will be better than the original. But you've got two hot babes who don't get naked because it's PG-13. So I'll probably get disappointed, but I don't think Eva Mendes got naked in, or that Aoki, the half Japanese, half German gal with freckles. I don't think she ever got naked. Eva Mendes never got naked. They're just models. They have reputations to uphold. They can't get naked. It stars Paul Walker, again, who was in the first film. In the film, Brian O'Connor Walker leaves Los Angeles to evade police capture after aiding and abetting Dominic Toretto's escape from the law in the first film. There's still no explanation as to why he decided to let Vin Diesel go scot-free, why he decided to let justice fall into his own hands. Even if he did resign, which was not shown in the film, it still doesn't make sense. But none of the first movie makes any sense. It's completely stupid and politically correct, I might add. And the soundtrack is terrible. The soundtrack for this one is terrible. Instead of, what's his name? Instead of Ja Rule, we've got Ludacris. I couldn't even remember that Ja Rule guy's name. Sorry about that. I'm quick to forget rubbish, as Adrian calls it. Anyways, development for the film began after Vin Diesel, who starred in the original film, was confirmed not to appear in Too Fast, Too Furious. The film includes footage from its predecessor, during which dialogues can be partially heard. The the main operative word here. There's hardly any dialogue at all in this. It's just the dude driving around escaping the police with some really lame stream rap song playing in the background, but it features no original dialogue. Filming occurred in Los Angeles and Miami. The film was first released by Universal Pictures on June 3rd, 2003, having a limited theatrical release in the United States to tie with Too Fast, Too Furious. It was later included on special edition home releases of the first film. I saw the abridged version, which I'm guessing is 6 minutes running time. This is like a silent movie. It's like a music video. It stinks. They tried to make it like Miami Vice. This movie. All image and no substance. Brian O'Connor packs his bags and leaves Los Angeles. It's kind of ironic that I watch Miami Vice and Fast and Furious franchise back to back because they both suffer from the same philosophy of images, everything. Brian O'Connor packs his bag and he leaves Los Angeles before the LAPD gets a chance to arrest him for letting Dominic Toretto escape as the FBI launch a national manhunt. Brian travels across Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas in a 1991 Dodge Stealth, winning street races along the way for money. Brian is forced to abandon the car at a motel in San Antonio when police officers are notified of his presence. When they collect the car, he manages to hitch a ride from an unknown woman. She drops him off at a used car lot, with him realizing she knows that he is the wanted man. There, Brian... Again, it's not clear why she didn't just turn him into the police. There's a plot hole there. But there really is no plot in this thing. I mean, who's the good guy in this? Nobody. There, Brian buys a teal Nissan Skyline GTR R34, later collecting money from street races. He modifies the car before traveling eastbound and winning more races. Brian continues across country until he reaches Miami, where he sees a modified Toyota Supra and Mazda RX-7. Paul Walker as Brian O'Connor, an ex-LAPD officer and fugitive traveling across the United States on the run from the law. The short film also features archival footage of Vin Diesel as Dominic Toretto from the first film, and Peter Aylward and Rodney Neal have cameo appearances as police officers. Minka Kelly acts as the woman who gave Brian a ride to San Antonio for no apparent reason. He's hitching a ride, and she agreed to it, even though she identified him in the newspaper. She didn't do anything. The film is noted for containing almost no dialogue, which is not a good thing. Review considered the film a hidden gem among other films of the franchise. It is also considered a necessary link for the understanding of various elements in the franchise. I still don't get the ending of the last movie. I mean, it sort of shows that he's a fugitive now, kind of like Lorenzo Lamas in Renegade. In Renegade, Lorenzo Lamas was accused of murdering a cop, and he's accused of being a cop killer. And this guy is accused of aiding and abetting a criminal, Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel played the bad guy in the last movie. So I haven't been fasting because I'm not going to do Holy Communion. I realized that I committed a mortal sin like months later after my son told me about it, that I wasn't disciplining him enough. I wasn't teaching him how to pray. Now I'm going to ask him to teach me how to pray because he's become an expert at this point. I went to the wine and crackers and cheese and tortilla chips and salsa. That's what I had for dinner last night at Star of the Sea Church. Father Joseph wasn't too happy to see me, I guess. Posting too many comments on the flock note. Anyways, or I'm talking to Brian too much. I don't know what's going on. But he kept insisting that my name was Benjamin, because I guess that's what it says on flock notes. He called me Ben one time. Now it's back to Benjamin, and I kept telling him my name is Ben. Everybody calls me Ben, but my legal name is Benjamin. And it means son of the right hand. And then Father Sony walks up, and I said, "Oh, hi, Father Sony." I'm glad I'm standing, because I would have had to stand up. If I was sitting, I would have to stand up as soon as you entered the room. And then, so I had a little sippy poo of wine, not too much. I don't want to drink and drive. But Father Joseph talked me into it. It's all about moderation, according to Father Ripperger. Anyways, so we were listening to Father Sony, and he starts comparing, he starts saying that evolution is compatible with faith, which didn't make sense. So God created a couple of snails who later lost their tails and evolving up from little snails. What happened to Adam and Eve? I thought they were created in his image. I didn't want to argue with him, but some guy was heckling him. It was hilarious. He said, at one point, Father Sony said in the slideshow, he was talking about faith and reason. And at one point, Father Sony said, "I'm almost done." And this guy sitting directly behind me said, "Thank God." And then it was question time, and the guy said, "What does any of this have to do with getting closer to Christ?" So he's trying to prove that he's Catholic, that he wants to be crucified like Father Padre Pio or something. And Father Sony gave him a lame answer. And then he said, "Does that answer your question?" And the guy said, "No." Oh, bad. These people, these traditional Catholics, they like to fight with each other. I don't really care if Father Joseph says something really stupid in his homily. I just talk about it to my son. That's it. And he disagrees with me. He says, "Oh, he's a traditional Catholic." Which is a good point, actually. You shouldn't argue unless it's like the Decalogue or something. Because I argue with my son over the Decalogue all the time. I still don't think he's going to get it, but I'm going to get him Father Emmanuel McCarthy on the auxiliary cord later today. I think I'm going to take a nap. I'm a little bit tired. I woke up at 2 in the morning and got home at around 8:30. So I got about 5 hours of sleep. Then I took an hour to nap. I watched the the prequel to the sequel, and I added a bunch of Herschel Gordon Lewis stuff to my list. I think I'm down to 90 for Tubi and Amazon Prime stuff. The selection on Tubi and Amazon Prime are impressive for streaming. Netflix, very depressing. I'm not going to renew my membership for their streaming service, especially after they did Cuties, man. Netflix is becoming like Disney Plus. I won't go near either one of those. I'd rather do Tubi or Amazon Prime. Selection is much better. So that's the plan. I'm trying to expand my list beyond Karate Man stuff so that I can get a larger fan base besides just Karate Man. It's becoming the Karate Man channel. I told him yesterday. And nobody in the chat room today. Well, I guess people got sick and tired of waiting for me. But I'll definitely get through Too Fast, Too Furious next week. And then we'll do some more Fast and Furious sequels. We'll skip over Tokyo Drift for the time being. I'll get back to it sometime this year. I've got to get past Renegade, which is third on my list. And I'm only about halfway through season 1. I've got 2.5 seasons to go, which is like 40. It's like 30 episodes or something ridiculous. 35 episodes, something like that. All right. So when I get to Renegade, you're not going to see any videos from me because I'm gonna be slogging through it on Sunday morning laters.